Happy Halloween! I know it's late, but better late than never, right? And I guess today is the most appropriate date to put this out. So, Goosebumps. Goosebumps was a children's book series in the late 90s that was adapted into a TV show and is now adapted into a film. And the type of film it is a horror comedy. Though I would more classify it as a family comedy, because most horror comedies, unless they're animated, are usually PG-13 or higher. But this is a PG film, so there are definitely other horror comedies that are much better than this. The story is about a teenager and his mother moving to this new town. And there's this girl next door that starts hanging out with the guy, and he eventually finds out that her dad is actually R.L. Stine, the author of the Goosebumps books. And in this, he's played by Jack Black. He and his weird high school friend that he just met stumble upon a bookcase with all the Goosebumps manuscripts. They accidentally let loose the monsters that are in the books because the books are magical or something, but there's one monster that they let loose, which is Slappy the Dummy, who is also voiced by Jack Black. And he's sort of the villain of the movie. He kind of coordinates all of the monsters. So it's up to these teens and R.L. Stine to find a way to stop them. The humor is okay in the movie. Not that great, but okay. There are a couple of things that made me chuckle a bit. Like there's this whole thing about Stephen King and how R.L. Stine is jealous of Stephen King. I thought that was pretty funny. Now as a kid, I did read some of the Goosebumps books, but I never was that big of a fan of it. And I watched the show when it was on, but I never really got into it. Personally, I was more of an Animorphs kid, which I would love to see a movie of because it has some really cool lore in that universe. Now, when people heard there was going to be a Goosebumps movie, I think a lot of people thought anthology movie, because that's what the show was like. But the movie, it actually takes place in this meta kind of universe, where Goosebumps the book series actually exists inside of this movie universe. Maybe they did that just so they can put as many of the monsters from the Goosebumps books in the movie, but I think that just might bog it down a bit. Wait, can I use bog as a verb? Is that a verb? I know it's like a swamp, but like, is it a verb too? I mean, if you're a fan of the book series and the TV show, then you'll probably like this film enough. There's definitely worse things you can see this Halloween, if you decide to go see a movie on Halloween night. But if you've already seen Goosebumps, tell me what you thought down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Wait a minute, one more thing. Movie talkers. Movie talkers. I had somebody that was beside me during this movie, and she just would not shut up. There were a lot of kids at this movie, and, you know, I didn't, like, say anything to her other than, like, when she asked me questions. She wanted me to explain the movie to her. I couldn't move. This was a full house. Usually I move when somebody's, like, talking obnoxiously, but I could not move. So I was being held prisoner in this movie. I think I actually like this movie a little bit more than I actually do, because I was using the movie as a sort of an escapism from the person sitting next to me. This woman came in with her kids, sat down, and started talking to me before the movie started. And she said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to talk to you throughout the whole movie." And you know what? She talked during the movie! Now, if you talk during a movie without any reason, I will come find you. Okay? Okay, see you next time. Bye. I'd like to give thanks to my patrons this month. Thank you so much for supporting me. It really helps out a lot. And if you'd like to support me, click the annotation for the Patreon link. And if you want more movie reviews, click the playlist. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.